All right, man. I was reading on Twitter. This is allegedly that Abdullah Mason. I don't know why I keep calling him Amir Abdullah. I don't know why I keep saying that in my head. But Abdullah Mason, Edwin De Los Santos' team said they offered to fight Abdullah Mason, and he said no. So I don't know if they was gonna put the WBO belt on the line, but they said no. So I think that's when they walked away from the entire situation, when Abdullah Mason didn't want to fight Edwin De Los Santos. And like I said before, he was a prospect that could have saved the show. Really saved the show. He was fighting his first real puncher that I could think of that was kind of on the world championship level, and Jeremiah Nicotina. I didn't see the fight. I see some highlights. Like he did well, stopped him in the fifth. But De Los Santos is a dangerous fight that asks for a prospect. But I feel like if he felt like he's a champion, I mean, he championship caliber, he should have did it. De Los Santos is very awkward. Abdullah Mason, had he did it and won, would it had cannonball to him the superstar-ism? No. But had he did it and won, I think he would have went to another level as far as confidence. He would have been the truth. I think a lot of people would have looked at him different, but I think, when you ask a kid who ain't got that much experience, 20 years old, especially if the title wasn't going to be on the line, what was the incentive? You got to ask yourself, what was the incentive? Just ask. But, it wasn't like they was in Vegas. I don't know if they was going to put the title on the line, but I think you don't ask a kid to do that. Could he have won the fight? It would have been interesting. It looked like De Los Santos, they said 2-year layoff almost, year and some change. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, about a 17-month layoff, 19-month layoff. I think it was the smart thing to do. I think the smart thing to do is not to take the fight. I seen a little bit of highlights, his defense cleaning up. They working on some things, and them things you're going to have to work on. You got to project the holes that he got. You got to project. He going to be going up guys, his size soon. So you got to think about that. He going to have to go up against guys his size when you go up in weight. And when you go up in weight, it's all about your skill set. So, when you're young, you think you're invincible. That's why most of us, we young and we don't get health insurance. We like, I don't little $30, $50, $60 on my check. I don't need that $50. So I think it was the right move to do. You already know, even if the world championship was gonna be on the line, you already know Bob gonna make that happen for you. Bob is gonna make that happen. So I would say no. If that was my young guy, not right now. And now De Los Santos wasn't the puncher, they probably would have did it. You hear him saying that Brian Norman Jr. saying that's the hardest puncher he done fought, him and Tank. He been there with Crawford and a lot of these guys, Boots. You know what I'm saying? You hear that, of course. A fucking course. You done see your son go down, and it don't mean you got a chin when you go down like that. It don't mean you don't have a chin. Sometimes it just, you just got caught with a good shot and get back up. But they working on closing them defensive holes. Especially when you cutting that weight down there. So Walker's on focus. Sometimes it's just focus. Trinidad used to go down a lot. One of the reasons Trinidad used to go down so much is because, he came out cold. He just was a guy that come out cold. He came out cold. It's an importance to warming up too, bro. Like in general, it's an importance to warm up. And Trinidad was one of them guys that came out cold. Balance was all off. Came out cold. So, sometimes he would get shot dropped. That don't mean he didn't have a chin at all. That didn't mean he didn't have a chin. Try to go in there and lift your max without warming up. Now, am I a stretch before I work out type of guy? No, I just do cardio and that loosens me up, but that's still a form of warming up. A lot of times you lose focus in the ring. They got supplements that help you focus on your workout. A lot of them pre-workouts, you read it, they talk about focus, 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 focus. Yeah, sometimes in that ring you get bored. So I think it was the right decision to do on their part. Yeah, I think it was the right decision to do, honestly. Fighting that dude. Sorry, I haven't put my collagen on top this morning. No Diddy. No Harvey Weinstein. So I gotta make sure I get that collagen there. I be forgetting to put it in the coffee. So, but yeah, De Los Santos, dangerous fighter. So if he wasn't a puncher like that, if that was Branchnick, they probably would have took on Branchnick. We don't know if the title was on the line or not, but they working on Abdullah Mason defense. They working on keeping that guard up, keeping that chin tucked. They working on you could say they working on catching and shooting. And this, shout out to his father. I had some critical things to say about, maybe he needed a new trainer, but his father is showing me they know how to close those gaps. So they closing them holes, working on keeping that hand up. You could tell they watching film of their son or Abdullah Mason. Next thing for him is just keep tightening it up. When you start fighting guys bigger than you, that's when the skills show. The skill must show. It's a finesse game at that point. When he started fighting about 47 guys about his size, he gonna keep growing in frame too because he's young. That's when it's gonna be about. He gonna be able to be guys with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 every punch. You work on everything, throwing three punch combinations, 4 punch combinations, 1-2s, working off the one, catching and shooting. They doing a lot of different things, right? I see the catch and shoot, the defense. That's how you do it. Close them gaps. But De Los Santos is a lot to ask, honestly. That's a lot to ask. Yep. That's a lot to ask. That's a tremendous amount to ask of that kid to go in there on short notice and fight a puncher like that. And I'm pretty sure there'll be opportunities down the line, for them to get it in. It will be. But they talking about Abdullah Mason, not Abdullah Mason, but Edwin De Los Santos might be working with Jay Prince now. And, they might be trying to put him on the Pacquiao and Barrios card. Ain't a brother on that card at all. So they might be trying to put him on that Pacquiao, Barrios card. So that'll be good looks for him. But when you got them punchers, like you don't want to put no prospect in with no puncher too soon. I think they was putting him in with Jeremiah Nicotina, fading puncher, to see how he do. But he could have got Edwin De Los Santos. It's possible. Edwin was they said he dropped about damn near 60 pounds. Been off 2 years. So, but I think, you move smart. Top Rank got an asset. They don't have many of them. Richard Torres, Keyshawn Davis. We don't know what's going to happen there. Outside of Keyshawn, and, ain't too much more there. So you got these prospects and shit, or you got these young guys that you putting a lot into. So they going with quality over value. That's what they going with, quality over value. So you can't afford him get knocked out and not being the same. Now, if it was Tank Davis that set a short notice, then that financially might make some sense. But not in this scenario. So I think it was the right thing to do. And that's what I thought. I was thinking, I'm like, damn. Well, if they make Abdullah Mason and De Los Santos is the main event. And apparently they tried to do that, Santos and them, and they said, nah. Abdullah Mason may be they ace in the bullpen. Now Keyshawn crashing out, T.O. tripping. So really, that might be the ace in their bullpen. You know, so we'll see. But you know, we'll see what happens. But they said no, 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 no. So thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live and drop video. Financially, you want to support the channel. Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, the whole nine. I appreciate y'all. Check out the Box Room playlist. Peace.